This 11,000 square foot lodge fits beautifully into this high altitude landscape of aspen trees, wildflowers, and wildlife. It's Colorado living at its finest, but it didn't always look this ideal, especially when this courageous couple first laid eyes on it.
It's almost like you found something that's broken and you have an obsessive compulsive desire to fix it, make it a little better, a lot better than what it was.
Obie and Julie Nelson were on the hunt for a wooded mountain summer home near Edwards, Colorado, where they like to vacation. From the outside, this one looked very promising. But behind those front doors, this was a serious do-over.
Some of the initial people that walked into this house that were looking as potential buyers walked in the door, turned around and left, and never even made it through the house.
It really was in desperate need of being fixed.
One problem, all the logs were orange, not the natural brown hue they are today. Problem two, the trusses and beams.
One of the biggest issues with this room were the trusses and beams were done in this black, dark black finish.
I was like, oh my gosh, this paint is just something terrible.
I guess my wife and I just have that ability to see past the orange logs and the black beams and the green walls.
Mind-boggling color choices were discovered throughout the house.
It was just a much bigger job than any of us ever imagined.
We started out, okay, well, we think we just have like 3 or 4 months worth of work, and of course it was a year and a half later.
And it was in the hundreds of thousands of dollars.
The Nelsons were drawn to this house when they learned all the logs were harvested in Yellowstone National Park after the 1988 fire. The logs are so big, local zoning laws would prevent this home from being built today because of the number of cranes it took to install the massive timber. Some of the beams are more than 2 feet around and run the full length of the main floor. 16 gigantic upright trees support the ceiling of the great room and dining area. Stripping and sanding it all was a painstakingly slow process. As their construction manager explains, it was done entirely by hand.
A beam like this might take 2 hours to brush out. You're not moving a lot in a day. It's time-consuming.
And after 6 months of non-stop sanding, the logs were still orange. Obie and Julie were asked to put their trust in a painter who had a really scary plan.
So that was the first matter of trust.
Yeah.
When Nico came to us and said, don't think I'm crazy, but we're gonna have to stain these logs blue to turn them brown.
And he actually did some test logs for us, so we got to see what it was going to look like before we said, okay, go.
That leap of faith paid off. The blue paint worked its magic, and today, the finished logs just beg to be touched.
My husband always says, the house kind of hugs you when you walk in.
Typically, this is one of the spots when somebody comes into this home and they look around and the first thing they do is kind of go like this. They go, this is kind of fun to touch this and feel it's all nice and smooth.
Even with the lighter stains, the Nelsons had no choice but to add more lights to the great room.
One of the toughest things about this room is it just eats up light like crazy.
It took 10 months just to complete the electric work. The lower level of the house is all about fun. It houses a wine cellar and a bunk room that sleeps 6. But they found other rooms were entirely bare. This home theater had nothing in it except for a huge bank of windows.
We had to install blackout curtains. Obviously, lights can interfere with a quality cinema experience. You could actually sit 6 to 8 people in the room without having to peer around somebody's big old jug head to see the screen.
Remember the infamous green room?
Once again, it was kind of like the orange logs. It just took your breath away. I'm a bit of a poker player, so we decided, oh, what a perfect room for a big custom-made Texas Hold'em poker table. We have typically a waiting list on a Saturday night. Guys know to show up early, and we've seen the sunrise a couple of games.
The kitchen required minimal work and is one of the Nelsons' favorite spots.
That's the heart of this home. And we love to cook, and we love to entertain, and I can almost never get anybody out of the kitchen. They're always wanting to stay in the kitchen.
The Nelsons spend a lot of time on their deck looking out at the Gore mountain range and almost 2 acres of land. This is the only part of the house where they did not get exactly what they wanted. A staircase from the back deck leading down to the yard.
Robert came in and absolutely nixed that idea because of the wildlife issue that could pose. Black bear are prevalent up in this part of Colorado, and the primary reason you don't have a staircase leading up to that back porch, it's an entranceway for bear to get up on your balcony.
We can leave the windows all open at night and we don't have to worry about the bear coming in.
Waking up with a bear,
Yeah.
black bear in your dining room.
Because people have that happen all the time.
Today, this massive home is bear-free and equipped for the harsh Colorado winters. The two-way fireplace connecting the great room to the formal dining room has a heated hearth, and this massive stacked wall of Colorado sandstone offers a little something extra as well.
The builder had the foresight. He put the coils, the heating coils behind this, and so in the wintertime, you can walk by and feel the warmth and the heat radiating off the stone wall.
No matter what time of year, the Nelsons love to entertain. And with 6 bedrooms, including 2 master suites, one on the second level and one on the main floor, finding extra space is not the issue.
We don't have trouble getting people to come visit. If we have any problems, it's getting them to leave.
Obie and Julie say all the time, effort, and gray hair that went into this epic renovation was worth it. But would they do it all again?
Probably not in this lifetime.
He says no. I'm ready for a new project.
I may be spending time on the golf course while she's building that next one.
This 11,000 square foot Colorado mountain paradise had to be almost entirely redone by its owners. With 6 bedrooms, 8 baths, a movie theater, and a custom Texas Hold'em poker room,